Baby, New York is get back.
Knicks are here, baby. The Knicks are here, baby. From South Dakota, baby. We're taking it all the way. We have De Blasio. We have Cuomo. It was rough, but we have the Knicks. The New York Knicks run New York City. Bing bong. Coming to us, KD. Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks? Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks? Let's go Knicks. Let's go Knicks. Let's go Knicks.
Mr. Bing Bong himself, Gorilla Nems.
Yo, don't ever disrespect me out here thinking you'll be in New York City and not see me. Everybody get up real quick, get out your seats. We got some legendary New Yorkers coming out right now. You hear me? Get out your seats. These guys made it legendary for New York. When I say Bing Bong, I need y'all to say Bing Bong. Bing Bong. Bing Bong. Let's go. If you're from New York City, raise your hands up.
There's sports and athletes from everywhere across the globe. But as far as New York City is concerned, there's only one team that matters. He's the president of Knicks Twitter. Make some noise for Ben Stiller. Heart and soul of the Knicks, Josh Hart. Stand up and salute your captain of the New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson. I'm not done yet. For Walt, Clyde, Frazier. He needs no introduction. He's a culture curator, maker. He is the celebrity fan that started this whole thing. The legendary Spike Lee. This is the first time a lot of you guys have seen these guys since Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, where a lot of faces out there were waiting outside of the Garden to greet these two gentlemen after the incredible season they just had. Captain Jalen Brunson, sound to you.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I can't lie. It's an unbelievable honor, to say the least.
Clyde, you...
Hello. Welcome back to Where WWE Meets Pop Culture, and it is me, Queen PR, and I am gonna dish on everything that happened this past weekend at the inaugural Fanatics Fest. Hey, Rakarsha, I see you in the building. So this show is about how WWE and wrestling's presence is growing in the mainstream. And Brian H. Waters tweeted it today the best about how we were able to see WWE in the same league as NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, golf. WWE was right there in the midst of all of that on an equal playing field. And in today's show, we're going to get into the panels I was able to see, some of the immersive experiences that were available, some inside scoop of just things I was able to see sort of behind the scenes, being able to work press, some of the people I met, and just the overall experiences, because conventions, and most wrestling fans are very familiar with conventions or in the feeling of camaraderie and fandom. And Fanatics, the word says it itself. Putting on something like Fanatics Fest for the sports world, I think, was just a magnificent idea, and I'm glad that I was able to experience the first one, and I am totally not surprised that it happened in New York City, which is why I opened the show with a clip, and that is just the intro of the legendary panel of legendary New Yorkers that I was blessed enough to share the same airspace with, as a New Yorker, as a Knicks fan, as just someone that is so excited about Knicks sports in general. Walt Frazier is my parents' favorite basketball player. So just being in the same vicinity as him, having him sitting next to the captain, Jalen Brunson, and then the biggest Knicks fan in the world, Spike Lee. I'm a huge Ben Stiller fan. I'm mad Kaz didn't mention Meet the Parents and Meet the Fockers when he was talking about Ben Stiller's movies, but it was just so dope. Just that collection of people it was just amazing. And Josh Hart, right? That's his name? Yeah. He was also on the panel. I know he has a podcast and he is very proud to be a Knick. And it was a legendary panel. And that was probably one of my favorite moments of the entire weekend. And one of those things where, yes, that happened. Like, I watched these legends on stage together talking about the past, present, and future of the New York Knicks. And that is just a little bit of what I was able to experience at Fanatics Fest. So just a little, you're probably living under a rock if you haven't heard of Fanatics Fest by now, but Fanatics, the company that does all the merch, they do the Superstore and WWE Shop Now. They did a festival, a sports immersive festival. I would say like a sports Comic-Con for the very first time. And there were panels, there were immersive experiences. So you can play basketball, golf, all these different things. They had live shows, live podcasts. So we'll get into that. There were times where celebrities were just walking around Jacob Javits Center like it was nothing. Like Michael Rubin, the CEO of Fanatics, was like literally just walking around like like normal person. Like people were able to get interviews with him. So it was a very unique experience. And as someone that I love being able to be there for the first of things, because you have no idea what to expect. Like I've been to Comic-Con for the first time a couple years ago, and like you kind of know what to expect because it's been going on. I have friends that are cosplayers, but like with Fanatics Fest, it was literally like, I don't know what to expect. I am a newfound sports girly. So, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be there. I know NBA players. I know WNBA players. But so it was amazing. There were autograph signings, photo ops, big collectibles. It was New York's biggest collectible, in the same space. So like baseball cards, basketball cards, things like that. So just the fandom, seeing all the different New York sports jerseys and kids dressed up in jerseys and just wrestling fans, really, really showing the fuck out. And we are going to get into that because that is something that I loved. So just to go back to just the fact that it was in New York and being able to go and seeing all these New York legends. I didn't mention that I also, that's me. Yep. First day, real happy, got my press pass. But I also got, the first thing I did was watch Derek Jeter on a panel with David Ortiz. And for me, Derek Jeter, I feel like I grew up with him because I was a kid when he was drafted, and my dad's the biggest Yankee fan on the planet. So I feel like I know him. Like, I feel like he's like my brother. So just seeing his career, and then when he retired, it was like very emotional. I just watched his documentary a couple weeks ago. So hearing him talk, and he, has always been a very private person. So I loved seeing him in his element and talking about the chemistry of baseball teams. And he said something really funny on the panel. And if you know about the Yankees organization and its legacy, if that's there, let's play a little bit of that, because I think that was really funny, what Derek Jeter said. And David Ortiz played for Boston Red Sox. So he got booed, of course, when he got out. He came out, he got booed out the building. But as the conversation went on, because David Ortiz and Derek Jeter are business partners, so they were like once rivals, but then, now they're really, really good friends, and they spoke very highly of each other, which I think was the best. I'm also going to be answering any questions about Fanatics Fest on this stream. Hey, Tony. So please ask me anything. I am spilling all of the top rope tea from Fanatics Fest at Javits Center past weekend. So Tony, I actually met at Fanatics Fest, and I was so enamored with him and his daughter. And I don't want to say too much because we are going to have Tony and his daughter on the show. Hey, Matt. Yes. So Fanatics did mention that they are going to be doing these in different cities. So they'll be Orlando in November and LA in March. So I am going to definitely try to go to those because it was so much fun and I love those sorts of environments. And like I said, wrestling fans showed out. So I was able to meet Tony and his daughter at the Masked Man show. And then we stayed for Fanatics Live. And I cannot wait for you guys to hear his story and meet him and his wonderful daughter because they are lovely. It was wonderful to meet you. And that was one highlight from Fanatics Fest is like all of the new people that I was able to meet. You go to, and you know what else I liked about Fanatics Fest is when I go work press at WWE PLEs, like travel to do them, I pretty much know the media circle at this point. Like I know I kind of can like bet on who I was gonna run into. But with Fanatics Fest, you don't know because it's a mix of sports fans, a mix of wrestling fans, a mix of sports personalities that are very different than wrestling media personalities. So that was very interesting. I loved meeting a lot of the people that I met. But yeah, I want to play this video of Derek Jeter saying something very funny about the Yankees organization and new players that come that just, might be more rebellious and don't fit in and how they deal with that because they want to build a championship team.
Free agents and other guys that came in and helped you win championships. There's this mystique around the Yankees and an organization, much like a Pittsburgh Steelers or the New England Patriots. Why do they consistently win? How much pressure was on you guys with the responsibility to teach people the way the Yankees organization was supposed to run?
Yeah, it was pretty simple. I mean, if you didn't follow the mindset and approach that we had as veteran players, we'd just get rid of you. I mean, it's really that simple because you didn't fit in. You didn't get along.
Oh my God. So, and I love because a lot of people know the Yankees are very much like, it is what it is. You can keep it moving because we're the Yankees. And Derek Jeter was very much the team leader and captain. So I just love that candidness and hearing him and David Ortiz talk about what it takes to build a championship team. And you can be doing anything in life and take those lessons in about building chemistry and building character and holding people accountable and not treating people the same, but treating people fair. That's another thing that Derek Jeter said, because if you treat everyone fairly, that is, that's per individual. So how people sort of treated you. So Matt Brutt said, oh, by the way, did Hollywood Cedric Mullins cheat off you at the WNBA Academy? Yes, Matt, I'm glad that you brought that up because, yes, Brian H. Waters, aka Cedric Mullins, absolutely did try to cheat off of me at WNBA Academy. WNBA Academy was that immersive experience where you got to talk about the history of the WNBA. So you took a little quiz on an iPad in a real classroom. And, I am new to WNBA, but I know some things, I got a 60%, more than half. Right. So, but Brian H. Waters was definitely trying to cheat off of me. We got the same score, so he probably did get a little peek. But yeah, the WNBA Academy was so cool. And I think there should have been more things dedicated to the WNBA, but that's going to be for later on in the show. But it was exciting to see all of that. And yeah, that was cool. We got the photos and the cap and gown, and yeah, it was nice. So the next thing I want to chop it up about Fanatics Fest was the fact that everyone was here to see legends, whether that was like Derek Jeter or Tom Brady or Walt Frazier was there, and other athletes that I recognize their names and I'm like, yeah, he's a big deal. And the lines were long and the autograph signings, you know, you definitely wanted to get there early because the lines were like so long for everything. And the lines to get into like some of the panels, because there was a Tom Brady panel that was like at capacity and there was like a line so long. But I will say that the only, I'm going to say this, the fans that were the loudest, the most passionate, the most engaging, and the longest lines for the signings were 4 WWE superstars. And I promise you, I am not exaggerating. Like that, I am so serious. I posted a video of CM Punk on my Instagram talking about how, you know, basically agreeing with everything that I'm saying about the presence of the wrestling fans and how their signings sold out immediately. I'm totally not surprised. You had like Liv Morgan, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Bianca Belair, Jade, Cargill, Bailey, like that easily sold out. And also the price of Fanatics Fest was unbelievable. And I think that's because it's the first one. So, but you're definitely gonna want to get your tickets early next year for sure. But we were the ones that were the most passionate. They had the superstar entrance. And that was that immersive experience, and fans, and this is at Access in WWE World as well. But imagine the people that don't go to PLEs or the Creed, like the fanatic wrestling fans like us that like go to all the shows, like the ones that like I watch WWE every week. I might not go to all the PLEs, but I get to do a superstar entrance. So it was like a totally new vibe in the building because there was this newness to what it was. You know, if you've gone to what's that? Those conventions. Like after a while, you've done the big time. You've done, you know, so after a while, it's like you want something fresh and new. So now you get to experience WWE in this context. And that's why the fans were so loud. Welcome everyone in the chat. Thank you for coming through. Yeah, let's talk about CM Punk really quickly because I see Vin brought him up in the chat, and Lion King the baby. So I was there, obviously, and that is like the last thing that I thought was like gonna happen. And I think one of the funniest things about that is the whole time, because I can hear Punk, and the whole time he's like, "Are we really doing this? Like, it's 2024. I'm not kissing a random baby." Like, just like, what are we doing? Like, oh, this is happening. And like, as Kaz is actually going to grab this adorable baby, he kind of, CM Punk is like, okay, all right, it's happening. And he, I think raising him up like the Lion King was like the best thing he could have did, because it's like Punk was not kissing no random baby, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was such a sight to see. And that was just like one of the most random things that you would ever think could happen. So wow. Okay, so the producer just said there's 12 million views on Fanatics, and they pinned the tweet of CM Punk Lion Kinging that baby. And also, like, there's this point in time where Punk was like, "Oh, look at that baby." And then he just turned like there's a baby in the front row. Like, it was hilarious. And then I go on Twitter, and the first thing I see is Kaz afterwards, like, "What if I dropped the baby?" Like, what? Like, oh my God, that was so funny. Yes, we're crushing that baby was super cute. And you are right. All of the autographs and the meet and greets for the WWE Superstars sold out. And Punk was like, "Oh, I was kind of nervous for the ones that didn't sell out because I ain't know." And I was like, "Oh, the shade of it all." Like, also, what athletes wasn't selling out their meet and greets? Give me the tea. Because when I tell you, wrestling showed up and showed out. This one fan that was at Fanatics Live. So Fanatics Live, I don't know if for those who know it, but they do live auctions for memorabilia. They did this really, really cool thing where they would invite the superstars on, and there was a camera that showed like what they were signing, like as they're signing it. And there was a live auction. So people were buying them like on the spot. And then you had Big E and Tyler Breeze, who were the hosts. And they were kind of like, you know, organizing or, you know, hosting. And it was so cool. And this is why I stayed. So there were like other like official things, like panels or more structured things that I was supposed to do. But I was front row after the Masked Man show, and the Fanatics Live was coming up, and I was like, oh, Liv Morgan, Bailey, Cody Rhodes. That's like I could literally sit here and just watch them like key with Big E and Tyler Breeze. And what helps is the chemistry. You can tell Big E and Tyler Breeze are very familiar with the people that are coming on. So like the WWE superstars are more relaxed. They're not in interview mode. They can just like have fun. So that was one of my favorite parts of the Fanatics Live. And also just being able to see them. They can write whatever they want. Like imagine you're, you know, the biggest Liv Morgan fan, and you can watch her sign a Funko Pop and you buy it. Like that is such an experience that to quantify that, like Fanatics Live is like just prints dollar bills. Like it's wild. Yes, and Cody Rhodes gave away a belt. A couple got engaged. So let me spill some tea about that engagement. I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. I wanna believe the best in people. Like I really do. And I love. And like, I almost feel like I was about to like shed a tear. Like, so was Rhea Ripley. I'm sure everyone's seen it. But it was giving fake to me when I was there. But I didn't want to be like that person. Like, is this fake? And then, I don't know, like there were like no actual tears. And then, I don't know. And everyone wants to go viral these days. Like everyone is willing to do whatever. And then I posted the video but then I kind of pushed out of my mind, and then I posted the video on TikTok, and then people were like commenting on it, like basically saying that it was staged or it was fake. So then I started rewatching it, and I was just like, But some more tea on that one. I hope it's not fake. If it's not, kudos to y'all. And if it is fake, kudos to y'all, because it worked. And y'all got a picture with Rhea Ripley, and y'all went viral. But then I was able to be backstage and chit chat with Rhea Ripley about this marriage proposal. So like one thing about working media, if y'all don't mind me getting candid with y'all, is that you are sometimes in spaces with celebrities, with wrestlers, and you don't really know, like, should I go talk to them? Like, should I not? You know what I mean? Like, especially when they're backstage, because this isn't a place where they want to talk to fans. And I know, yay, Letty's here. And I know, like, I'm there for a reason, but in that capacity, it's like, you don't know if you should speak. So it just so happened that I had me and Rhea basically just experienced something together, the engagement. So I can say, you know, she said hi, I said hi, and I was like, oh my God, that engagement was crazy. And it was just such an easy opening. And she was like, right? And just being able to, like, you know, chit chat with her. We joked about how she has to go to the wedding, officiate the wedding, which I'm sure people are going to be joking about that with her for like ever. And it was funny. And I told her she looked good, because she did look good. Can we just like, oh my God, take a moment? Let's play the Rhea clip that we have. I have so many clips that I haven't posted yet that I waited to share with all of y'all. Let's play that Rhea clip.
Crowd goes crazy.
I do. And they go crazy for Rhea, like none other.
gotta go back.
Just because this isn't every day, and I want you to feel really good, can we give it up one more time for Rhea Ripley? This is crazy.
It is wild. It is, but I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. Doesn't that get overwhelming for you being so beloved?
A little bit sometimes, but I love it because I love everyone here.
Oh my god. The reaction she got. So just to give you all some more context on this, there were panels in the theater. So that's the footage you saw of Derek Jeter in the Knicks panel. But then there were live shows happening in like the midst of the convention. So this was on center stage. So it's in the midst of everything. When I tell you, and I was in the front row, so I don't realize that there's people like not only the rows, but then there's people like standing around as well. I've been in stadiums. I was there when Cody came back. I was there at the fucking main event of WrestleMania 40. And the screams that was happening for Cody and Rhea Ripley was like almost gonna pop my eardrum. Like I've never heard anything like that before in my life. And I just kept thinking like I wonder like what people on the other side of the convention center, because I know they had to hear that crowd, was like, what are they screaming for? And I just would love to just be like, oh, it was for the wrestlers. Like, yes, there was no other crowds. And there was like WFAN, iHeartRadio was doing the Pivot podcast. Shout out to them, did their podcast. But there was a lot of those sorts of moments with these legendary people. But the crowd swell and the overall just passion and feverishness of the crowd, none of these players or attractions had anything on the WWE fans, because you see your favorite WWE superstars in such a close setting. Like they were like right there. Like the kids were going like absolutely insane. And Rhea is so charming, I have to say, and she is such a nice person. I will say. Let's play that Cody clip so you guys can just hear that crowd that I'm talking about. Like it's wild. Oh my God. Like you can barely hear his music playing in this video because the crowd is that loud. The effect that this man, Cody Rhodes, has had, I posted on my Instagram. I do believe that he is probably under Hogan, maybe. I wasn't present in John Cena's heyday as a babyface, but the connection that Cody Rhodes has with fans is like, I have like chills even thinking about it. The entire time he was on stage, first of all, when they anticipated him coming, because Fanatics Fest had an app that was very convenient, giving you the schedule of events, updates on when like times were pushed back or events were gonna, like, you have 10 minutes until this. So when they announced that Cody was coming at some point, you could just see everyone. You could hear even in that video security saying, and when Rhea Ripley was there too, like, you guys got to step back because all of these people just came out of nowhere to get in front of the stage. And I turned around, I was like, oh shit, for Cody, like all these little kids, like it was crazy. the entire time he was there, you just hear random kids, Cody, 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 and you could just hear I just want to talk to him. Like it was in unbelievable. And this is why I love wrestling and WWE particularly, because I've been doing this for a while now. And Justin, thank you so much, because I was so blessed to have been able to experience that. There are still things that blow my mind, and being able to witness these fans. He did give away that belt, which was funny. Shout out to Craig. He works with WWE and Fanatics, I guess, and Big E, of course, was like trolling him the whole time, and Tyler was, because they like making him worry and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of became a gimmick. And there were correct chants at some point, but Cody wanted to give away this championship belt, the new one, and he signs it and he says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna break the rules." And I had to zero in on Craig because Big E, of course, was pointing and laughing at him because like Cody, what are you talking about? Like, we about to auction this off. It's a live auction. Like, what are you talking about? And Cody said, fuck it, and gave away the belt to this, like, adorable kid. And that crowd, that was when I think my eardrums were going to bust, because he said he was going to give the belt away to the loudest fans. And I was just like, oh, no. And they were screaming their heads off. Some more Fanatics live shenanigans. Bayley. So, I love Bayley. And, she's, on the part, like, she's not out there like that. Because I know journalists that have interviewed her, like, she does talk about being nervous and, interviews and press isn't her favorite thing to do. So seeing her do this live auction with Big E and Tyler Breeze, I've never seen Bayley so just chill. Like, I felt like I was hanging out with Pam. Like, me and her was just chilling, and she's so funny and so charismatic. Like, I'm not surprised. Like, there's a few wrestlers that refer to Bayley as their best friend, which I think is adorable, because if there's a person that can make multiple people feel like they're their best friend, that says a lot about Bayley. And I can see why, because she was so funny. I felt like I was hanging out with her. I didn't want her to leave. Like, I was like, no, Bayley, like, where are you going? And so another thing with the live auction, that there's a live chat. And they were, fans were asking questions, and Big E and Tyler were asking the WWE superstars. So someone asked Bayley a very interesting question. So let's play that clip.
What's the best option to take you on a first date?
The best option?
Yeah.
Like, where should we go?
Mini golfing? Are you going to the movies? Are you going to eat? What are you doing?
I love Mexican food. You take me to a Mexican restaurant and have some mezcal. A little mezcal. And then see what happens. Maybe. Let's start with that.
So if you want to impress Bayley, her drink. So buy some mezcal and you'll see what happens. My sister's a huge mezcal fan too. So we can keep with Bayley. I have to make sure I bring Letty. So, we get, hang out and shit like that. I want to know where would you guys take Bayley out on a date? Oh, Dad has hit the chat. Thank you. So, one funny thing, I was able to meet one of my dad's favorite basketball players, which is really cool, and see Derek Jeter. So the whole time I'm sending him photos and like random videos, because he is a huge sports fan and he would know a lot of these people. But what's really cool about that was I was able to tell Walt Frazier that my dad was a huge fan. Like, that was the first thing I had to tell him. So just to get candid really quickly, like what I was mentioning earlier, when you're in these rooms with such legends like him, Spike Lee, like you don't know, like, do I, what do you do? Do you speak? Do you like let them be? So I just happened to be a little closer to Walt Frazier, and he turned around and said, "Hey, how you doing?" Like you would any person, like someone that has manners. Where this young lady came into my space, I'm gonna greet them, and I was like, "Hi, so nice to meet you. My dad's a huge fan." He said, "Thank you." We took a selfie. It was great. Like it was such a cool experience. But thank you, Dad, for tuning in. One cool thing that I experienced was seeing celebrities and athletes that were not in the WWE space interact with the legacy belts. So the legacy belts are relatively new. And it is probably the most genius marketing strategy, that and the golden title, that I think WWE has ever come up with, because it is such an easy way to merge into other sports realms, because everyone wants pride in their team. What better way to show pride in your team than a customized championship belt of your college or your team? They were giving professional athletes legacy belts from their colleges. Like, what the hell? So Walt Frazier actually was able to hold one of the legacy belts, and I think I have that clip that I was able to snap. Let's do it.
WWE makes
So it's very brief. But just to hear Walt Frazier talk about WWE and like hold this like Knicks belt is like amazing. There was also another legendary person that held that Knicks belt, and I think I might have the clip to that.
To give to you this New York Knicks WWE Legacy title.
Championship. It's been since 1973. It's a damn shame that a belt got to be made up for them instead of them earning it. But I'm not going to be negative because we're on our way. We're knocking on the door. We're trying to come. We know the Greek freaks around. We know Tatum and Brown and them in Boston. We saw Paul George go to Philadelphia. We don't care. The Knicks are coming. The Knicks are coming. The Knicks are coming.
So I loved watching that, by the way. And I've noticed just going to like parties and events and people bring championship belts everywhere. Especially people that are not in the wrestling bubble that have, held a million championship belts like that. There's something that happens when people grab and pick up a championship belt like that. It's like this like pride and like that just comes over people, and they put it on their shoulder, and it's almost like a dream realized that they don't even realize they've always wanted to do. And I will say, like, the first time I was at Legends when I got back into wrestling as an adult, and I didn't realize like people like carry these belts around like in public, and I was like, oh my god. And then the first time I held one, because you don't think, if you watch it on TV, it's like you don't think like you'll ever hold one, as crazy as it sounds, and then you like hold it, and it feels awesome. And I love seeing that look in people's faces so watching like that, and like Walt Frazier hold them was just so surreal. And where would that, like, it's just wild to witness. And watching Stephen A. Smith reminds me of when he was talking with Paul Heyman, because that was a promo that he just did, and it really happened very effortlessly. So shout out to him. I also want to give a huge shout out to the team over at Ringer Wrestling. They had 2 live shows during Fanatics Fest, one with CM Punk, one with Drew McIntyre. Cash Shoemaker, Brian H. Waters were there. And they were also able to incorporate and do such a fantastic job at also leaning into the hottest feud that's going on right now, having CM Punk one day and the next day having Drew McIntyre. So being able to mix it up there, Kaz being on that hosting that legendary Knicks panel that I will remember for the rest of my entire fucking life. He also did another panel, I want to say, but in general, just seeing Kaz just do his thing this weekend has been amazing. But I do want to show some more clips that I got from Fanatics Live. But one thing that was really special for this Fanatics Fest was that I was able to kind of, Krista B wasn't able to make it. So like I had another partner for Fanatics Fest, and that was Brain H. Waters. And you guys know he's one of the hardest working people in this business. And he was producing everything that the Ringer was doing, putting out social clips like it was like no tomorrow. But he was kind of like my partner, and it was awesome. And it was so seamless. And look at that face. Like who wouldn't want to work with him? And then being able to experience the first of the Fanatics Fest together and really just work together in such an effortless way was like super, super, super special. Like if there was, footage that he couldn't get, I tried to, send to him and vice versa, dividing and conquering. And then, just the, being there for each other was like super, super, super dope. His first time in Jacob Javits Center. So there was a lot of like firsts, and those New Yorkers that know, they renovated it a few 2 or 3 years ago, and it is absolutely beautiful. Shout out to the staff of Jacob Javits Center. They were like so nice. That entire time, they really made everyone feel welcome. Thank you, Matt. So Punk was on The Masked Man. He touched on a lot of different things, but what I want to share is something he's because Cass asked the best questions. But let's play the clip of some just inspirational things that, I got inspired by this moment from CM Punk.
Punk, my very, very last question is, when this is all said, and I'm not saying it's anytime soon, but you've had some time to be away from it, eventually there's going to come one day where you got to permanently walk away from it. What is the one thing you want people to remember about your career in the ring and out of the ring that will follow you long after you're done lacing up your boots?
Took no shit, punched above his weight, better than the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best in the world, CM Punk.
I love that. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, I really love Punk. I really do. With his suit and his ones, I put on Twitter for people to rate his outfit, and they were very, very harsh. I like Suit Punk. I like what he's trying to do. So I also want to just talk about some of the fandom there. And like I said before, is nothing like wrestling fans coming together and cosplaying and doing its thing. So yeah, I'm as big of a Punk fan because I have this new Roosevelt shirt that just dropped, and like I never in my entire life thought I would ever purchase CM Punk merch with my funds. But when I seen this, I love the red, I love the colorway, I love this print, I love the design. Shout out to Roosevelt, and I had to get it. I really did. And now I kind of wish I wore it because I was front row and he probably would have noticed it. And then like I would have went viral with Kaz. Like, not the baby. Like I would have went viral. But I get to wear it today, so I'm here for it. But you never can be disappointed by really good wrestling cosplay. So this girl, so when Rhea Ripley was supposed to show up on Fanatics Live, her fans when they knew she was coming in the lineup, just came out the woodwork and was like all over the place. And I was like, oh my God. And they were like, 2 Rhea Ripley's dressed up. And this young lady was like 4 rows behind me. And Brian was like, oh, you got to talk to this girl. She's dressed like Rhea Ripley. You know, so much happening. And then we're outside on the last day. And then she is like, there she is. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Rhea Ripley. But I was really excited that I was able to meet her. She was super sweet. She did very well. The cosplay was very well, down to the fishnets, down to everything. She had the championship belt, the mannerisms, everything. It was awesome. We got these awesome shots of her. Loved it. Then we ran into, let's just see what pops up. Oh my God. These adorable ladies, 2 different versions of Stardust. So we stopped them. It was like, oh my God. So I, you know, being new to Stardust, I was just like, and I saw the gold and the silver, so I assumed like it was Stardust and Goldust, whatever. And homegirl definitely corrected me, and she was just like, there are actually 2 variations of Stardust, and she's this one and I'm that one. And I was like, oh God, inform me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They were so cute. Bumped into them a couple times, and it just looked like they were having the time of their lives. And like I said, I feel like Fanatics Fest really is why I love doing this show, because it's blending into that or tapping into that market of non-wrestling fans, where those 2 Stardust ladies, that's what I'm going to call them, they might not travel to every PLE like we do. They may not have a wrestling podcast, but they just love wrestling. And now it's like, oh shit, they're going to be at Jacob Javits Center? Dope, let's go. It doesn't have to be WrestleMania to be able to do these sorts of things and these immersive experiences. So really, really cool. I love this. So I've actually seen almost all of these cosplayers before at either like shows in New York or WrestleMania or something like that. So seeing them all come together in this space, you see Dusty Rhodes. He's actually gone viral a few times. He's been on WWE television a few times as well. Iron Sheik, The Rock, Macho Man, Undertaker, Stone Cold. Shout out for the representation, because shout out to Lovely, because she would say like, oh, Stone Cold, you know, it's a reason why a lot of black women fuck with Stone Cold Steve Austin, because he just got that fucking attitude that if you know what I'm saying, but he was really good. They all had the mannerisms down, and that's the stuff that I love, because I'm just like, yes, I'm with my people. I don't know if I have any other cosplay photos, but they were out and about. I loved it. This fan traveled 5,000 miles to see LA Knight. He was one of the WWE superstars on Fanatics Live. I wasn't able to stay for his because I had to go to another panel. But I had, as on my way out, I seen that sign, and I really hope, and if anyone knows this fan or seen the live, I really hope LA Knight acknowledged him and seen his sign, because that's the type of shit that I live for. I also want to shout out the MC of Fanatics Fest, because he was really funny. He was really charismatic, sarcastic, like my type of humor. And he asked every crowd how far people came, who traveled the furthest to come to the inaugural Fanatics Fest. And seeing that sign, I'm like, oh wow, like he traveled pretty far. I met a girl who traveled from London to come to this, because if you are just a general sports fan, Fanatics Fest kind of feels like a dream. Like, in addition to loving WWE, let's say, right? Because most, I don't know, I can't generalize people these days, but you know, I think of like, let's say, like, you know, like my boyfriend, for example, like he loves wrestling, but he also loves baseball. So, in football, in basketball. So it's like Fanatics Fest is like, whoop, 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 whoop. It's like everything. So just being in a room with people that love all of that, it felt really special. And it's the first of its kind. And WWE is on equal playing field as all of these other leagues, which is what I've been talking about. And just to get more candid, I've pitched this show to other outlets, because I just knew that there was going to be a time where it's going to be inevitable that WWE is not going to be like, you like wrestling? Like, there's going to be a time where it's going to be on the same level as NFL, MLB, NBA. You know, WWE being one of the most forward-thinking brands and companies I think that has ever existed, to be completely honest with you. And you know, the new direction, you know, Nick Khan, who I also was like in the room with, oh my God. And I randomly met Triple H. Nick Khan and Triple H were like walking around or whatever, and they did some like Triple H did his superstar entrance, and they had like police escorts. So I was backstage while they were being escorted out, and then randomly I was just like, hi, Triple H. And I just shot my shot, you know, and he actually turned around and said, hi, how you doing? And shook my hand. And I was just like, oh my God. And I was like, I'm good. It's so nice to meet you. And then he went, and I just, you know, and the reason why those sorts of moments really hit home for me, because this is the COO, you know, the guy that is running the shots, you know, being escorted by police with I think they call him the president of the company of WWE. And because I said hi, he actually acknowledged me. And that is like so huge in these spaces, because there are, and I'm not going to say any names, but there's a couple of celebrities that I encountered where they literally acted like I wasn't even standing there. Like they ran me, like they were walking towards me and I was standing there talking to someone. And if I didn't move out this person's way, he would have ran right into me. And it's that energy of like, you're supposed to move out of my way. And, you know, you have those encounters. I met a wrestler recently that I was like disappointed in the encounter because they weren't very nice. So when I come across someone like Triple H and Walt Frazier and Spike Lee, who I also got the chance to meet in like a split second, and it was one of those moments where they were just polite, and those are the moments that I will never ever forget. And maybe I didn't get a photo, but the feeling that they gave me, like I'm like all the way I'm here for that. And thank you to all Triple H especially, and all the celebrities that I was able to meet and over the years in this business that were just like super, super, super kind. I ran into a lot of familiar faces at Fanatics Fest. Ash Benny from Lip Gloss and Ladders, who I didn't even know lived in the Bronx. So definitely stay tuned for, I interviewed her randomly. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for more content, because I'm like, oh my girl, you live in the Bronx? Yeah, we're gonna make that happen. I ran into Amanda from Jobber Tears, Rafiq, very dedicated sports journalist, Derek, who else did I run into? Black Baseball Mixtape. I was able to meet him. That was amazing. I met some new faces, which was dope. So all in all, you know, it was 3 days of new, mind-blowing moments. Brian H. Waters and I had a moment where we were like, that just happens, you know, because you're so busy. The days are going by so fast. We were probably there for like 7-8 hours straight, just constantly working, constantly moving, constantly on our feet. And we didn't really get a chance to like digest everything that happened. Some of the rooms that we had the pleasure of being in. I want to shout out Kaz's team for just making us feel so at home in these environments. I really appreciate that. I just appreciate Fanatics and everything that they were able to do with this. I want to shout out wrestling fans in general for really showing up and improving that, you know, WWE and I want to say WWE in particular. And I'm not going to get on my soapbox because Raw is about to start, and I want y'all to be able to tune into Raw. But nobody's ever gonna do it like WWE in this game. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care about none of these other fucking companies that came up and trying real hard. When it comes to mainstream appeal, WWE is Disney, okay? And Fanatics Fest kind of proved that. It is now, in there. If there is a sports website, WWE doesn't to be an other or anything else. It needs to be right there, up there with MLB, NBA logos, all that shit. And this past week improved that. And Drew McIntyre, Bayley, CM Punk, all mentioned how it was the WWE fans that was selling shit out that you can guarantee we're going to show the fuck out. And that's why it's always disappointing. Like I said, I pitched this show to places. I had to fight for why people wanted to learn about what WWE superstars are doing outside of the ring. I posted Bailey quoting Michael Scott, something that has nothing to do with wrestling or WWE, but because we are so emotionally invested in these people, it like did numbers, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you can never replace that passion. And those are dollars and those are valuable. And I think Fanatics Fest proved that. And I cannot wait to see what WWE's presence, what the Ring of Wrestling's presence is at these future Fanatics Fest, because Orlando is a wrestling town. So if you think they show, well, nothing's better than New York. But if you think New York wrestling fans showed out here at Jacob Javits Center, just imagine what they're going to do in Orlando. So, but I want you guys to go watch Raw. I want to thank you for tuning into Where WWE Meets Pop Culture Live with me, Queen PR. Please tell your friends about this show. If you love WWE, you love wrestling, and you want to know all of the top rope tea and all of the things that your favorite wrestlers are doing outside of the ring, be here every Monday night before Raw to kiki with me and get all the top rope tea. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, follow those wrestling girls and Queen PR on all social platforms, and I will see you next week.